Yair Lapid is leader of the opposition in Israel. Appreciate, Mr. Lapid, you joining us. First, tell us how you see the situation in the last 24, 36 hours, the dramatic developments, including the killing of Ali Khamenei. Is Israel fully united behind the actions being taken by the IDF?
Just got terrible news. There was a missile hit in the city of Bet Shemesh.
You're on mute. Yes.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so
yes, I can.
As I was saying, we just got terrible news. A missile hit on the city of Bet Shemesh, 8 killed, dozens wounded, many children. These are difficult times, but it is, it's a rarity. It's a just war. We live in an era that everything is a bit ambiguous, and yet in this war, everybody knows how to differentiate good from evil. This is a just war against a terrible terror organization disguised as a country. And we need to do this, and the entire state of Israel is totally unified behind this war. There's no coalition and opposition on the subject. This is the right thing to do, and we're going to go through with it. It is extremely important, not only for Israel, but also for the stability of the region and the world.
No, but how do you, when you say, I want to ask you your definition of a just war. A just war which ends up killing 150 school children in Iran. A just war which takes place while negotiations were on for Israel to give up its nuclear program, and the Omanis claimed they were close to a deal on it within 24 hours. It almost seems as if Israel was the one spoiling for a fight for aggression. How do you call it a just war? And what justification do you give for it if there were negotiations going on in Geneva?
These are two very separate issues. First of all, everybody in his right mind is, of course, terribly sorry about the school children that were killed. This is the casualties of war. These are bystanders. Children should not die in grown-ups' wars, and it should never happen. But this happens in wars. The difference is, this happened by mistake, while the Iranians are aiming at Israeli children as a purpose. This is what they're trying to do. They're not trying to target military operations or military bases and by mistake killing children. They're trying to kill children. With the operation the Americans and us are conducting in Iran, we were trying to hit only military bases and targets, and yet terrible mistakes do happen in a wartime. In wartime, this is, again, everybody in his right mind is sorry, but this is not the purpose of our war. This is the purpose of the Iranian war, killing children. So this is one thing. The other issue that you were asking about, the negotiations in Oman were bogus. This is Iran. Everybody who was there for 5 minutes knew what was going on. This is Iran trying to buy time. This is Iran, again, trying to deceive everybody while gaining the time they wanted to keep on building the ballistic missile program, their nuclear program, sending the terror proxies all around the Middle East. The problem that people seem to find hard to understand is that Iran is not a country in the way we think of a country. It is not India, it is not Israel, it is not the United States. It's a terror organization. The regime, the Ayatollah regime, is a terror organization who
it's an ancient... Sir, I want to just... You will also agree, sir, I take your point, but you will also agree it's an ancient civilization that goes for thousands of years. I mean,
yes.
When you say Iran is not a country, surely that's, Iran has the right to defend its sovereignty. It has chosen Ali Khamenei. You and I can perhaps disagree with the politics of an Ali Khamenei or indeed the export of violence to other parts. But what justification is there to attack Iran at this particular juncture and kill its leader?
What are you saying? I mean, what are you saying? That a regime that just killed more than 30,000 of his own people is a legitimate regime? Of course, Iran is an ancient culture, as Israel, as India. These are all ancient colors. Of course, it's a legitimate country, but it's not a legitimate regime. It's a regime that is actually a terror organization who took the country hostage. We used to have we used to have peace with Iran, and I wish to God we will have peace with Iran in the future, because this is what needs to happen in the Middle East. But right now, Khamenei was not a leader of a country or somebody who was elected in a democratic manner. These are people who are using democratic lingo and words, talking about human rights and talking about international law, while making fun and mockery out of all these terms. What they did was killing their own people, killing other people, sending terror organizations all through the Middle East, standing behind organizations like Hezbollah and Hamas. This is what they do. The country, yes, of course, Iran is a legitimate country. The regime, no way, sir. This is not a legitimate regime.
So what is the end game? Is the end game now regime change? Is it now asking the people of Iran to rebel against the regime? Or do you believe that it will require a ground operation? Because that's the fear. It's one thing to take out, if I may be allowed to use the word, a Khamenei and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard commanders. What happens next? Does that worry you that there could be a vacuum now in Iran and even a more hardline cleric will emerge? Or do you hope for a regime change that is favorable to Israel and the United States and the Western world?
Well, I don't think there is a big risk of somebody who is more hardliner than what we have right now. I mean, they just hit the max. I think the goals of the operation is, of course, demolish and take out of the table the nuclear program and the ballistic missile program, and create the conditions that will enable the Iranian people, if they want, to change the regime. I mean, right now what happened, they tried to change the regime and the regime killed them by the thousands. And so we are trying to hit the Revolutionary Guards, the Basij, and now it's up to the people of the Iran if they will find within themselves their Mandela or their Gandhi or their Lech Walesa in order to create a new future, to curve a new future for the people of Iran. It's up to them, but we should ease the conditions in order for them to do so.
So you are a political opponent of the Prime Minister. Do you believe that Benjamin Netanyahu has been on the right track in the way he's pursued this war? Whether it's in Gaza or now in Iran, do you believe that this is he's following the right track or not?
Well, these are two very different issues. I mean, I had a lot of criticism on the Prime Minister on Gaza and the way it was conducted. I have a lot of criticism about him on a bunch of issues. I think I've earned the title his most bitter political rival, but on this he's totally right. President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu are totally right. We were forced into this, but this is a war we should have been engaged in, and this is a war we must win, and the people of Israel stand united behind the government and our security forces who are doing an unbelievable job right now in Iran and elsewhere in the Middle East.
My final question, you said this is a war we must win. What is victory? Is it the killing of Khamenei or is it a regime change? What does victory for Israel really mean in this war?
For Israel specifically, is making sure Iran doesn't have the means to the total destruction of Israel, because the Iranian regime have said once and again, we want the total destruction of Israel and the death of all the Jews who live in Israel. And we were determined to make sure that they will never have the tools or the means in order to do so. So for Israel, the victory is just being able to live in peace without the threat of a nuclear bomb or a rain of ballistic missiles falling on our heads and killing our children. For the entire civilized world, I would say, is a victory will be a regime change in Iran that will make sure that the Middle East is not threatened by terror and by a country that is acting like, or a regime that is acting like a terror organization. I mean, it doesn't even make any sense to me that people are questioning this. I mean, if you were for example, the killing of bin Laden, you must be for the killing of Khamenei because it's the same. These are leaders of terrorist organizations. This is not legitimate leaders of countries.
Right. Okay. Yair Lapid, you've joined me on the show, leader of the opposition in Israel. You've spoken your mind and spoken it loud and clearly. Appreciate you joining me on the show today. Thank you very much.